Welcome to the weekly market wrap-up. I'm Hannah Bernard. Markets advanced this week despite data showing declining business activity in Germany, China, and Japan. The good news is that strong U.S. economic activity continues to prop up the global economy, driving both the Dow and the S&P 500 to more record highs on Thursday. Let's take a look at the numbers. Investors were pleased with positive U.S. reports on inflation, rising home sales, and declining jobless claims. The Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 33 points on Thursday to close at a record high of 17,719. The S&P 500 also posted its 43rd record close of the year, up 4 points to finish at 2,052. And the Nasdaq managed to recover from a slide this week, jumping up over 0.5% in overall value to close at 4,701. Now let's turn to Canadian markets, which delivered a solid week thanks to a push by resource stocks. The Toronto Stock Exchange had a stellar day Thursday, jumping 95 points or 0.63% in overall value to close at 15,075. The TSX Venture Exchange also did well. Note the up trajectory this week. It was a 1.09 point jump on Thursday to close at 783.54. This week started out promising for TransCanada's Keystone XL pipeline as the Republican-controlled U.S. House of Representatives passed legislation in favor of the much-needed project last Friday. The Keystone pipeline will transport 550,000 barrels per day of Canadian oil across the U.S. heartland to refineries in the Gulf of Mexico. On Tuesday, supporters had hoped the Democratic-run Senate would follow suit and also grant approval, but the bill failed by just one vote, stalling the legislation until the new Congress is sworn in early next year. Now, even if the House does pass the bill, it's likely that President Obama will exercise his veto. In recent statements, Obama has dismissed the project, saying it adds no value to the U.S., as it will only carry Canadian oil that won't even stay in America.
And I have to constantly push back against this idea that somehow the Keystone Pipeline is either this massive jobs bill for the United States or is somehow lowering gas prices. Understand what this project is. It is providing the ability of Canada to pump their oil, send it through our land down to the Gulf, where it will be sold everywhere else. And it doesn't have an impact on U.S. gas prices.
Is the president lying? Well, according to fact-checking by the Canadian press, Obama's comments are more than the usual political subterfuge. The CP applied its dispassionate baloney meter to the president's statements and came up with a rating of a lot of baloney. We've included a link to the article in our video description below, so be sure to check it out. There was plenty of good news on the Apple front this week. First, it's official. Apple is now the most valuable company in the world. No other company even comes close. Apple is worth more than $670 billion. That is $300 billion higher than Google and $260 billion higher than key rival Microsoft. Apple's stock has been on a tear this year. Since posting lows of $71 a share in late January, the stock has skyrocketed to over $115 a share this week. Now to winners and losers and our picks for the week. The winner for this week is Best Buy Co., ticker symbol BBY. Best Buy shares jumped nearly 7% on Thursday, or $2.48, after reporting a blowout third quarter. Best Buy sales grew at their fastest rate in more than 4 years, and the company beat analysts' earnings expectations by 8 cents per share. Helped by more disciplined marketing, greater investments by suppliers in its stores, and bolstered by brisk demand for the new iPhone, Best Buy is looking well positioned to capture a significant share of the holiday shopping spend. The loser for this week is GoPro Inc., ticker symbol GPRO. Shares of the darling wearable camera maker continued to plunge, down 9.29% on Thursday, following a 6% loss on Wednesday. The drop is self-inflicted as the company conducts a secondary share sale to the public at 15% discount. GoPro Inc. develops, manufactures, and markets high-definition personal cameras often used in extreme action video photography. They are compact, lightweight, rugged, and are wearable or mountable on sports gear and vehicles. Well, those are our winners and losers for this week, and now it's time to check in on the gains that you could have locked in by following the weekly watch list from Robert James and Viral Stocks. That's enough about this week. Now let's turn to Baystreet.ca's look at the week ahead and a snapshot of what analysts are forecasting for companies whose earnings reports are coming out next week. U.S. Thanksgiving means a short trading week. Here are 3 U.S. companies to watch. First up on Tuesday is Hewlett-Packard Co. with an EPS forecast of $1.05 compared to $1.01 in the prior year quarter. This week, Symantec and HP Enterprises Services announced a joint partnership to develop a new disaster recovery as a service solution. Next up on Wednesday is Deere & Co. with an EPS forecast of $1.58 compared to $2.11 in the prior year quarter. Finally on Wednesday is North Atlantic Drilling Limited with an EPS forecast of 35 cents compared to 30 cents in the prior year quarter. And now here are 3 Canadian companies to watch next week. First up on Monday is Nevada Copper Corp with an EPS forecast for a loss of 2 cents compared to a loss of 1 cent in the prior year quarter. Next up on Wednesday is Bear Creek Mining Corporation with an EPS forecast for a loss of 4 cents compared to a loss of 5 cents in the prior year quarter. And finally on Friday is Input Capital Corp with an EPS forecast to break even compared to a loss of 1 cent in the prior year quarter. And that wraps it up. Thanks again so much for joining us for another weekly market wrap-up. Before you head out for the weekend, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel or podcast on iTunes and find us on Facebook and on Twitter. For Viral Network News and Baystreet.ca, I'm Hannah Bernard.